Lord, we come together with you and with these people at this place today to do your work. We thank you for reminding us today of the season of our Savior's birth, and are so grateful for that. But we're so grateful for the world slowing down a little bit in their own way and recognizing that this time of year. Lord, we ask you to bless each of these people, their families, and their friends in their lives this month and beyond, and bless our efforts today. May we all go forward together in good will. In your name we pray. Amen.
Shelley, roll call.
Yes, sir. Carol Legg.
Here.
Melvina Shotpouch. Keith Austin.
Here.
Danny Callison.
Here.
Julia Coates. Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Joe Deere.
Aye.
Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Rex Jordan.
Here.
Johnny Kidwell.
Here.
Wes Snowfire. Dora Petzkowski.
Here.
Joshua Sam.
Here.
Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
E.O. Smith.
Here.
Condessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right. Everybody had time to review the minutes. Can I get them? Second. All right. All in favor? Aye. Reports. Human Services, Jennifer Kirby. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Carrie, you sitting in for Jennifer?
I am.
All right. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kara Pasqua, and I'm the Director of Child Support Services, and I am sitting in for Jennifer today. I'm happy to take any questions that you all may have, and I will certainly do my best to try and get you answers.
Kara, I do have one question. For LIHEAP, if we are assisting elders with wood to burn in their stove, is there a maximum per year that they get?
I believe there is, but I will definitely ask that question and get back with you.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for Kara? All right, Kara, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a Merry Christmas.
All right.
Thank you.
Transportation Infrastructure, Michael? How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon. How is everybody? Good. You've got a copy of our report, I've got a few things I want to go over with everyone, so I'll be brief on my report. But just a couple of things I wanted to highlight. On our water and sanitation side, Cherokee Nation received the 2021 Aquarius Award, awarded to Cherokee Nation by the EPA. And it's for the Weber Falls emergency water line repair that was done back in the floods of 2019 that crossed the Arkansas River. It washed that water line out. And this Aquarius Award is awarded to entities that kind of go together and have innovative financing. Several groups came together to make this project happen. Again, it was an emergency project to restore water service to the Weber Fall and Gore area. So we received that last month. I received a virtual award, but still it was an award to us, and we were happy to receive it. On the Cherry Tree Rural Water District, we began leak detection on that sometime back. It was a satellite leak detection that we've entered into a contract with, and they've gone through and done or found several significant leaks. We've begun the repair process on some of those. Last week I got notification that they repaired or found and repaired a massive water leak that was estimated to be leaking about 60 gallons per minute. That equates to about 2.5 million gallons a month. So that has been repaired, and they are working this week on more repairs. So we're trying to get them back in sound, not only infrastructure shape, but also financial shape. So we're working with them closely on that. Lots of projects going on the transportation side. We did begin this contractor mobilized to the Rocky Mountain School Loop Bridge in Adair County. They started December 6th with a completion date of mid-year 2022. That project is moving along well. Northeast Fort Gibson Phase 2 project, I think I talked about that last month, that we had Phase 1, and now we're getting ready to start Phase 2. That has been awarded, and we anticipate the contractor starting on that just any time. And that'll be ending, expect to be ending late 2022. I want to mention lastly, I've got several projects, but just in time-wise, I want to mention the Mud Valley project. That's still in the right-of-way phase. There's 79 parcels total. We've required 62 of those. Two landowners have given verbal acceptance on some other parcels. We're trying to make schedule time with them to get signatures on those. We've submitted 7 parcels for condemnation, and we're in negotiations, or final negotiations, I should say, with 5 other landowners. So that project is a right-of-way acquisition process is beginning to wrap up. That's all I have to report on our projects. And again, I've got some other things I want to go over. Is there any questions that I can answer on any of the projects?
Any questions for Michael? Joe Deere.
Hey, Mike, on some of these road projects, when we're putting out asphalt, stuff like that, and partnering with them, if there's a bad area that's laid bad asphalt or concrete, what do we do in that situation? What's the protocol for that?
If it's a project that we funded?
Yep.
If it's a project that we funded, and we would work with whoever put it down, whether it be county commissioner or city, town, whatever the case may be, we'd work with them to try to make the repairs and make it right.
Okay. I was asked that because I guess on some of the different projects, like the abutments and stuff like that, they're not grading them out. They're just going where it ends and stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a question as far as that, and different asphalt where the oil is too thick, different projects like that. So I didn't know, just send those emails to you?
Yeah, myself or Andy Quitone, either one. Yeah, if you make us aware of it, we'll check it out and get with the
Okay. Yeah, I just
owner.
need to know the protocol and who's getting what.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
You
Mike.
send it to both of us.
All right. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Michael, you're good to go.
I'm gonna pass out a handout here.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. There she is.
Thank you, Terry. I know, she did, didn't she? Okay, what Tara Lee is passing out is some policy on the ARPA infrastructure dollars. I think you've heard Chief mention it a couple of times. He mentioned it in the State of the Nation address recently. There's some money-specific ARPA funds set aside for transportation and infrastructure projects within each of your respective districts, with the exception of the at-large. Basically, what we've put together is the first one of the handouts that's got the graph on it. That is a PowerPoint presentation that we put together. It talks about the resolution that was passed for the Treasury funds, or the ARPA funds, we call that, which corresponds with the nation's Respond, Recovery, and Rebuild Plan. The administration set aside $15 million for these projects within your districts to be spent over fiscal years 22, 23, and 24. You can see by the graph there for those years that you'll see a significant increase in the total funding, just upwards of $9 million total. And that includes your existing motor fuel tax, your existing motor vehicle tax, and special bridge funds that you currently get. The second, or the following page there with the figures on it, you'll see what those totals equal. For 20 and 21, you got just a little over $4 million combined, with everything combined. In 22, we did estimate the motor vehicle tax funds. We estimated those the same as what was received in 21, as well as we estimated 23 and 24. And the reason we did that is because we don't know what those figures are right now. Those figures don't come out until the audit is complete, which is typically December, January timeframe, if not a little bit later. So again, we just carried forward what was received in FY '21 into those years. So that 9.166 million that you see there could very well increase. Historically, those numbers have gone up over the year. Motor vehicle tax figures, those are from the sale of the license tag plates. Those have gone up historically, so we would anticipate them to continue to go up. The next document that was passed out are the policies. And you can kind of go through that, but again, the eligible facilities are the transportation facilities. That will be administered just like the current motor fuel, motor vehicle, and special bridge funds are administered. Same request as far as the county commissioners or cities and towns that we work with goes. They will fill those road improvement requests out and it'll be administered just like anything else. You'll still have it'll still be submitted to the Executive Finance Committee, just like everything, just like the projects are currently being handled. So you won't see a lot of change there other than additional funds. Another eligible use of those funds are what we're calling other infrastructure-related projects. So if there was a project that within your district that you wanted to improve infrastructure on or make a contribution to, what we would do is request that the entity, whether it be a city, town, county, whatever, work with you to submit a proposal back to our office. Those proposals will then be evaluated. There is a 60-day evaluation period there shown in the very last paragraph under the approval process. There's a 60-day evaluation period that we would go through internally to ensure that it's a viable project and it's something that Cherokee Nation is willing to take part in. So that's the new spin is on the ARPA money is to be able to spend that on other infrastructure-related items. So with that, do you have any questions or anything I can answer?
I do have a question, Michael. So this year, so like right now, we got an extra 900,000 in our roads money, right?
Actually, it's going to be $1 million apiece, $15 million total, so divided 15 ways.
Okay, so is that gonna be for the same amount goes into 2022, or is this a one-time?
It's a one-time
Okay,
shot
gotcha.
over a period of 3 years.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and we're showing it on that graph. That's a great question, Chairman. We're showing it on the graph over 3 years, $5 million a year over 3 years, but it is available currently in '22.
I got you.
If you chose to spend it over a 3-year period, but you do have 3 years to the end of 2024 to get it expended.
Okay. Keith?
Michael, does sidewalks, are they part of infrastructure? Or would they be considered eligible under this in your interpretation?
As another infrastructure project, I would
Yeah.
classify them as that, yes. Water, wastewater, sidewalks, roads, bridges, street lighting, I don't know that there's a specific definition, but what we would want to do is take a look at the proposals and work with you to come up with a solution or a proposed funding solution for projects, any projects that is submitted. So,
In a lot of areas where there's good sidewalks, it really increases public movement and participation.
Absolutely.
And healthy walking, and there's places where that's a real need, so.
absolutely, I would agree.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Michael? Sean?
Just to make sure, so this $1 million on top of what we normally get
Yes, sir.
for this year?
For the next 3 years,
We can use-
one-time shot for the next, to be spent over the next 3 years.
So we can use that million over 3 years?
Yes.
If we choose to, or distribute that out to county commissioners like we normally do. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, you wouldn't distribute it to them, but you would work with them to get it spent on projects, yes.
Right.
That's correct. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? All right, so I'll tell you, Councilor Smith and myself are going to use our money to help fund a asphalt plant. And by doing so, it's going to allow us to get our asphalt about half price, and we're gonna be able to use it to do more miles worth of roads with our regular funds. So that's just another idea in case, y'all wanna partner up with each other on some of y'all's property. Because right now, I think it's about, what, $74 a ton or something? And I think after we do this, Michael, it's gonna be like $34 a ton. And so with our actual roads money that we use, it's gonna be like, we're gonna be able to double the amount of roads that we're gonna be able to repair and build within our area. So that's just an idea. If y'all are more interested in that, just get with us later on or something, but
And it's my understanding this funding is available right now, so now that with the policies have been developed and you guys have a copy of those, it's eligible for use.
you bet. Any other questions for Michael? Michael, appreciate you. buddy.
Yes,
You have a
thank
good
you all.
Christmas.
You all have a Merry Christmas yourself. Thank you.
Next up, Jerry Killer with Housing. Yeah. All right, Jerry, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Super.
Well, I'm not giving you all $1 million, so I apologize. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow that, but I do have some dates to let you know about. The spring college housing applications, those application dates will be December 27th through January 14th. So if you have students who are not currently on the program but are going to school in the spring, need some college housing assistance, those will be available December 27th through January 14th. And other than that, you all have my report, so if there are any questions.
Keith.
Ms. Killer?
Yes.
I've been asked, within the Claremore apartment complex that Cherokee Nation Housing Authority operates, the vacancy rate is high.
Very high, yes.
And we've got handicapped units in there, and handicapped citizens looking for someplace to live, and we're not moving anybody in there. Are we still not moving anybody in there?
You mean, are we transferring from apartment to apartment, or are we not moving in new residents?
Are we not letting any new residents move in right now?
We will move in new residents if we have applications. We don't have any applications for that location. There is no wait list, and I believe our vacancies are in the double digits there, so,
Yeah, they're high.
yes.
But if you need help finding residents.
Please, yes,
Because-
yes. And you know, those are for seniors only, and we've even lowered the age to 55. So anyone who's 55 and older.
Okay.
Now, and also keep in mind, those are all one-bedroom apartments, and a lot of times we get people that have families, and, you know, it's not a family complex, it is a senior complex,
I'm
so,
very familiar with the apartments there.
yeah.
So, my mother lived there for 10 years.
Right,
I
yes.
know the complex quite well. The 55, but what about people with certain disabilities?
It's age, it's elderly, it's not for disability, it's age, it's
Age
elderly.
only. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Councilman Deere?
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Hey, have we gotten any movement on those ramps in the senior housing we talked about for the ADA area?
Yes, we have, and actually, if you want to get with me offline, I'll give you some more specific information, because my maintenance men have visited with that particular resident, and he
Okay.
said he doesn't want them, so.
Yeah, well, there's two in that back area, not just the one, because I know the one you're talking about. But the other lady that just moved in, she needs one on that end.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'll get with you. We'll get
If you want to get me
offline.
some more specific on that one,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Melvina?
Jerry, in J, I know it's kind of a weird situation, the senior housing, the Wisdom Keeper,
Yes,
the two-story building,
yes.
you know, they fixed it, moved all the people out, now they're all moved back in, but I had one lady tell me the other day that there's still mold in there after they're back in there now, and who can check that out? I
So
mean,
that, they have their own management company. We don't manage that
Uh-huh.
property, but I can reach out to Green and talk to them about that and
Okay.
see if they've gotten any complaints or,
that's what I told, I said, it's a weird situation, but I'm sure
Yeah.
they would know who to contact.
yeah, well, I'll reach out to Green about that.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Crittenden?
Jerry, if Keith can't use those, is there a way to move those like to Adair County?
Well, it's one big building, one big two-story building.
Well, I take it. On the backlog of, rehab,
Yes.
and I know COVID, everybody
Yes.
knows that, but some of the outside stuff we've been able to do, are we still making a pretty good dent in that?
Oh, we are, yes, absolutely. We have pretty much every one of those jobs under contract with different contractors. And so they have schedules, and all the contractors have both rehabs and replacements that they're doing. So while you might not see immediate movement on some of them, they are awarded to a contractor, and I've given them pretty aggressive deadlines to get
Yeah.
those done.
Well, and I do see movement.
Good.
I do see
good.
movement on all of your programs, and appreciate you as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jerry, is this the 30 million?
Yes.
Awesome. So
Yes.
that's 2016 to present, right? Or is that 2016 prior?
It's prior to August 1 of 2019. So housing
2019, okay.
rehab applications that were prior to August 1, 2019.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. Councilman?
Yeah, I think whenever we passed that budget, it was in 2019, obviously COVID stepped in, made some delay. During that time and during COVID, because I was looking at the process of how much this backlog would be caught up on, and I know the question was just asked just a minute ago, what I had suggested was possibly looking at an overall percentage, like where we were application-wise, that's 0%. Maybe even if we could get it by district, but like, are we 15, 20%? Are we 30% completion of that backlog, 50%, 60%? That way, in our monthly report, we can see how much of that backlog we've been making up for. I think that would help us. So that way we can tell our citizens, hey, they're working on it. They've got 60%. So if you haven't got yet, you're coming up on it, on your range of getting help. That might help us communicate that to the citizens better. And then the other thing, I've had 2 elderly people that had complete home burn downs. And since they're of age, getting on a home waiting list to have one built is something that's not going to be affordable probably in their lifespan. And they're not wanting to move to town into something that's already readily available. Have we looked, or are we going to look at something like a modular home situation to where we're able to use these more flexible ARPA funds to say, hey, these are going to be dedicated to our citizens that are 65 years or older who are on the verge of being homeless, or their home is so rehabable that we need to just vacate that home altogether and just drop this modular home down. I know that federal NAHASDA guidelines don't necessarily allow for that, right?
They can, and we haven't looked at anything specifically for modular homes. Everything that we're trying to do is more stick-built, which I
Right.
know takes more time.
Right.
But the quality and,
Right.
being able to maintain that is gonna be so much better, to where in 10 years, we're not doing rehab on it.
Yeah, it's just the time expectancy.
Right.
And then also, buildings changed a lot in the past couple of years. Being in real estate myself, I've got people who have the money, they're ready to build a home, and they can't build it themselves. And so I can only imagine what it's like with you guys. But what might be, and I know the cost has also increased on them too, but metal homes, the fact that they're able to move so fast whenever they start a project and complete one. And in fact, I think there was actually a prefab home building company for selling prior that might have been some interest for us, to where we could put citizens to work building our own prefabbed homes, or prefab metal building homes, to where this fire situation that I've dealt with, and I've got 2 of them now, I don't know where to turn to on them because they don't have money. They lost everything, and that home is the number one key element to becoming unstable and unproductive in
Absolutely.
economy and in an economic environment. And being someone of age, how can we process that faster. And I know I'm just kind of spitballing some ideas, but I may get with you off record and try to see, can we allocate some things? Can we look at it and come back to the council, and I'll come back with them some more education?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to have further discussions with you on that, for sure.
Because that's something I'm kind of sitting here going, I want to get you in a home right now. How can I get you? You're 77 years old. You're willing and able to take care of yourself. So, awesome. Okay. Well, appreciate it. You giving me
Yeah,
that
of course.
information. Look forward to talking to you some more.
Great,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Councilor Legg.
Victoria?
Yes, I just had a comment. Jerry, I would like to speak with you after the meeting about a particular individual.
Sure,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Brandon?
Just to follow up, when we ask about rehab and everything, we have to keep in mind, I'm sure everybody knows this, but just the amount of emergency rehab you're doing on top of that. So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm appreciative of that. I mean, these big rehabs are great, but then in the meantime, hey, Jerry, the roof's leaking. Well, I need
Yes.
emergency rehab, not just rehab, so.
Yes, yes.
So that's gotta be a big thing in itself, right?
Oh, I would guess, and I'm totally guessing here, but I'm guessing that we're averaging around 10 emergencies a day. And that is on top of, I probably have 200 plus rehabs that are under contract, and we have 50 or so replacements that are under contract in addition to all these emergencies. And most of the time, these emergencies are not always small emergencies. I mean, a hot water tank is one thing, but it's never just the hot water tank. Also there's flooring issues, there's sheetrock issues. Same thing with a roof leak. It can never just patch the roof. We've also got to address, because that roof was probably leaking for a little bit, so now there's mold, and we've got to look at the insulation and the sheetrock and everything else. So even the small emergency jobs turn into a little bit bigger that take time and, resources and contractors. And this is my plea again, if anyone knows contractors, we desperately, desperately need contractors to help us with everything from those small jobs. So even if it's not just a big general contractor, even just a small, handyman type guy that can do those small things, we desperately need that as well, so.
Who would some of those people need to get in touch with, just?
They can call me directly, they can call our rehab department, they can call our procurement, just call us, reach out to any of us, and,
And there's a list of things they have to have
yeah.
bonded and
Yes,
so
yeah,
on.
and we can work with them through all that, whatever they don't have, or, we can tell them what they do need, and work with them to get that, so that we can get them some work, because it's a big need for us, for sure.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
On the smaller jobs like that, do we still have to go through procurement and bid it out? Or is there more on emergency rehab? Is there more a sense of urgency where we can bypass a lot of stuff and just hire a company and go do it?
So both. It really depends
Okay.
on,
Is it a
kind of
threshold?
how big the job's gonna be. There is a dollar threshold amount.
Okay,
And then, what funding we're using is
Yeah.
gonna depend on that too.
okay. Any other questions?
How's the after-hours rehab emergency stuff going?
Uh,
Is it increasing?
No, it's not increasing. It's steady. It's not, we're not bombarded. It's not increasing, but it's still active. It's still going.
Do you think it maybe people don't know about it?
Possibly, that is a possibility, but, also the after-hours program was funded with CARES money, so it will expire the end of this month.
Oh, no. 'Cause that's been handy when people call you and you get a hold of them. They've been real good about coming out.
Yes, yeah, we do, 4 or 5 plus calls a week generally on it.
Okay. I hate to see that in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Jerry? All right. Jerry, we appreciate you.
All right,
have
thank
a
you all
good
so much.
Christmas.
You all have a Merry Christmas.
Old business none pending, new business none pending. Announcements, the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, January 10th at 4 PM. I need a motion.